Hi guys, my name is Christian and today is a very exciting day, at least for me, because today we got Neural on board to sponsor today's episode. And what's even more exciting is that we got James Phillips on today's show. And if you don't know who James is, he is an Ibanez endorsed super guitarist who has written a track for me to mix. But before we dive into any technicalities, which amps I've used and whatnot, we'll let James take it away. Okay, so that sounded pretty good to my ears. I'm quite happy with the outcome of the mix, and I can tell you that you rarely come by such good DIs. And what's even better is that James have agreed to share the song and the DIs, so be sure to check that out. And also check out James' Instagram. I know that he have a couple of cool things coming up. And with that said, let's jump into Pro Tools and check out some cool midi tones. Okay, so I thought that we'd do a quick rundown on which amps I've used in the song. And if you are interested, I will be sharing the presets. They will be included in the folder of the song. We'll start off with the bass. I used the Submission Audio Eurobass. And if you guys have missed the Submission Audio company, they really make the best bass sample libraries out there, especially for rock and metal. They're very mix ready, and you don't have to struggle with the low end, which you have to do with most sample libraries and of course with real bass. I used the amplifier without the distortion because I wanted to use the Parallax plugin, which I bought when it came out, and it has really been my go-to plugin when I want a more modern distorted bass. It's so easy to set up, and what it really does well is the low-end compression. Usually it took me like 5 to 10 plugins to get there, but with the Parallax plugin it's so much easier. So let's have a listen. Let's move on to the rhythm guitars. So James quad-tracked the guitars, which gives you a lot of options. And we'll start with the main rhythm pair. You will see that this will be a Plini Festival. I've been really into this plugin. Perhaps not my go-to when it comes to rhythm guitars, but in this case I thought that it worked very well. Yeah, I used the modern amp or the high gain one, and this is how it sounds like. The good thing when you have quad-track guitars is that you can have a lot less gain, but when you have all the guitars playing together, you'll end up with a very tight but saturated tone. So the other pair in the beginning of the song is the Alpha Omega amplifier. And this might sound a bit box, but I made it so because I wanted it to blend well with the main rhythm guitars, so they don't clash frequency wise. So this is how they sound soloed. So they just give you that extra saturation and hair. And in the later part of the song I used a different combination. This is the Fortin, which is a lot more scooped. This is how it sounds on its own. We'll move on to the clean guitars. This is all Plini with its internal effects, which I really enjoy. It sounds so good out of the box, especially crunch leads and cleans. So this is what I came up with. So very clean and crisp. And over this part James played a solo, which I also used the Plini amp because it's so smooth. And later in the song there is an additional lead guitar playing, which have an added harmony in the end. And here I used the Omega amp just because I wanted a different blend of tones. James is switching to single coils in the breakdown of the song, so I thought that it would be nice to have a more thinner, warmer sound. So that was a quick rundown of the song, and like I said in the beginning, there will be presets, and you can also download James' song, so you can also play around with the tones yourself. Okay, so that's it for today's episode. Hopefully you guys will have a lot of fun playing around with the song and the DIs. And check out the neural stuff. I actually sold my camper after demoing their plugins. They are truly awesome. And if you like this kind of content, you might considering hitting subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you around.